In the blink of an eye, life can change forever. Serena Williams, one of the greatest athletes the world has ever seen, faced a heartbreaking tragedy that no trophy, fame, or fortune could ever heal. It was the night she lost her beloved sister Yetunde Price, in a cruel act of violence that sent shockwaves through the world. What really happened that night? Why was Yetunde taken so soon? And how did Serena find the strength to keep going despite the unbearable loss? This is the untold story of love, loss, and resilience, the tragic fate of Yetunde Price and how Serena Williams carries her sister's memory to this day. Before Serena and Venus became household names, they were just two young girls growing up in Compton, California, guided by their family's unwavering love. At the heart of their world was their eldest sister, Yetunde Price, a woman who played a significant role in shaping their lives. Yetunde was more than just a sibling. She was their protector, their rock, and their biggest cheerleader. As a registered nurse, a businesswoman, and a loving mother, she had built a life of her own while staying deeply connected to her famous sisters. She was a selfless woman, always putting her family first. Whether she was offering advice to Serena and Venus before their big matches or taking care of their personal matters behind the scenes, Yetunde was the glue that held them together. But behind the smiles and the close-knit family, no one could have predicted the devastating tragedy that would strike on a warm September night in 2003. It was supposed to be a regular evening. Yetunde was driving through Compton with her boyfriend when, without warning, their car became the target of a senseless act of violence. Gunshots rang through the air, piercing the silence of the night. Yetunde, a woman full of dreams and love, was struck in the back of the head. Her boyfriend, panicked and desperate, raced to get her help, but it was too late. The life of a vibrant, loving mother and sister was stolen in an instant. The gunfire was later determined to be a case of mistaken identity. Gang members in the area believed Yetunde and her boyfriend were a threat, but in reality they were simply in the wrong place at the wrong time. The news spread like wildfire. The Williams family, known for their strength on the tennis court, was now facing a battle far greater than any championship match. A battle with grief, pain, and the quest for justice. For Serena and Venus, the loss was unbearable. The woman who had been their guiding light was gone. Serena, known for her unwavering confidence, found herself in a place of deep sorrow. She later admitted that there were times she could barely function, let alone pick up a tennis racket. Venus, the quiet yet fierce competitor, was equally devastated. The sisters had always been taught to stay strong, but this was a pain they had never known. They withdrew from tournaments, struggled to find their footing, and for a moment the tennis world stood still as the Williams sisters mourned. Serena described her grief as crippling, revealing in interviews that she felt completely lost after Yetunde's passing. The family had always been incredibly close, and the void left by Yetunde's absence was overwhelming. The hunt for Yetunde's killer began immediately. Police investigations led to the arrest of a gang member who was involved in the shooting. The trial was long and painful, with the Williams family forced to relive their loss in the courtroom. Case revealed details that made the pain even harder to bear. Yetunde was not involved in any disputes or altercations. She was simply caught in the crossfire of gang violence that plagued Compton. Her life was taken by a senseless and avoidable act. The verdict? A conviction that brought some closure but no true justice. 'Cause no prison sentence could bring back the sister, daughter, and mother that was stolen from them. Even after the sentencing, Serena and Venus continued to struggle with the weight of the loss. Serena admitted that she went through deep depression, questioning why life had to be so unfair. Despite the darkness, Serena and Venus chose to rise. They refused to let Yetunde's name fade into history. In her honor, they established the Yetunde Price Resource Center, a foundation dedicated to helping victims of violence and their families. The center provides resources to families affected by violent crimes, offering counseling and support to those who have lost loved ones. Stands as a symbol of Yetunde's kindness and compassion, ensuring that her legacy continues to change lives. Every time Serena steps onto the court, she carries Yetunde's memory with her. Every victory, every trophy, every triumph is dedicated to the sister she lost but never forgot. Serena has spoken openly about how Yetunde's loss has given her a deeper sense of purpose. She plays not just for herself, but for her sister and for all those who have lost loved ones to violence. Life is unpredictable. Loss is inevitable. But love is eternal. Serena Williams may be known as a fierce competitor, a world champion, and an icon. But at her core, she is a woman who carries the weight of a tragic past with grace and strength. Yetunde Price's story is a reminder that life is precious and that even in the face of the deepest sorrow, we can find the strength to move forward. The Williams sisters have turned their pain into power, using Yetunde's memory as fuel to make a difference in the world. Their story is one of resilience, proving that even in the face of tragedy, love will always prevail. Rest in peace, Yetunde. Your legacy lives on. On the other side, Serena Williams has ignited controversy after performing the Crip Walk during Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl halftime show. Critics argue that the move was insensitive, given that her late sister, Yetunde Price, was tragically murdered by a Crip gang member in 2003. 43, Serena Williams was seen dancing to Kendrick Lamar's hit, Not Like Us, during the Super Bowl halftime show at New Orleans' Caesars Superdome. Her moves quickly sparked debate, as she performed the signature footwork linked to the Crips, a gang with deep ties to Compton, California, the city where her sister Yetunde Price was tragically killed in a drive-by shooting. Yetunde, the eldest half-sister of Serena and Venus Williams, was shot and killed on September 14, 2003, in Compton. A devoted nurse and personal assistant to the Williams sisters, she became an innocent victim when Robert Maxfield, a known Crip gang member, opened fire. She was just 31 years old. Maxfield was later convicted of voluntary manslaughter and sentenced to 15 years in prison. Serena's Super Bowl performance drew mixed reactions. While some praised her energy and presence alongside Lamar, others criticized her for what they saw as an insensitive gesture. Given the Crip Walk's deep-rooted gang associations, many questioned why Williams would perform the move, considering her personal history with gang violence. Addressing her appearance, Williams shared that Kendrick Lamar personally invited her to join the performance. When Kendrick Lamar and his team reached out and said, "We have been wanting to collaborate for so long, what about this? We loved your Crip Walk at the Olympics after you won the gold medal," she wrote. "I was like, Super Bowl? Are you serious? When else would I ever get the chance to dance at a Super Bowl? Never. Let's do it." Williams had previously performed the Crip Walk after defeating Maria Sharapova at the 2012 London Olympics, a move that also sparked controversy at the time. Reflecting on her Super Bowl appearance, she joked, "Man, I did not Crip Walk like that at Wimbledon. Oh, I would have been fined." However, not everyone found it amusing. Sports analysts and social media users highlighted the uncomfortable connection between her dance and her sister's tragic murder. One ESPN commentator even accused Williams of trolling her rumored ex Drake, who was the target of Lamar's diss track Not Like Us. Others, however, saw her performance as a tribute to her Compton roots and a show of support for Lamar, another Compton native, during a defining moment in his career.